So, I actually researched Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and those three things pretty much came from the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the direction I went into. Started speaking with some brothers that were like part of camps, different camps around Brooklyn. But a lot of these camps were like, the leaders of the camps were like old gang members who, converted their life.
Mm-hmm.
Things was different. But it was still, I still wasn't all the way out. Because after a while, even going to the camp and feeling that sense of pride, as a black man in America, the history that you're taught is, yo, you was naked in Africa, we put you on a boat, we enslaved you for like a couple 100 years, and then we say, you know what, y'all get ahead. That's like nothing to feel a sense of pride in yourself.
You don't even know what country specifically.
Yeah, you don't know
really
what part of
from.
Africa, what it's just vague.
Yeah,
it's just
the whole
vague.
continent.
And you're reading about a man in a wig who chopped down a cherry tree. Shit, talk about he can't tell a lie. Like, you know what I mean? That's what you're getting. So like, as black men in America, you feel like a sense of emptiness. There's no, unless you have like a line of your ancestors that you could say, my great grandfather was this, my great father. If you don't have that, and I definitely didn't have that because at that age, I didn't even know where my dad was from. So hearing that, oh, these people look like you. They're look, read the description. Oh, wool hair, skin of bronze. Who has skin of bronze? Oh, wow. That gave me a sense of pride. That gave me a reason to hold my head high. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I needed that, and it kept me not completely out of the bullshit, but it gave me enough of a pathway to make it out where a lot of people didn't.
Well, because was it around that time that, you were doing stick-ups?
Oh, no. The stick-ups was right before.
Okay.
Then I started, studying and getting into the life. And once I realized that even, that aspect of it, it was still gang shit going on. It was temples that had beef with other temples and they were trying to set each other up. There was one occasion where one of the guys that first came, preaching to me and stuff, he was a good friend of mine. He was one of the toughest guys in the neighborhood, one of the most popular guys in the neighborhood. So when he changed his life, that was like an eye opener. Like, how did you really? You gave all that up? Okay, I talk to me what's going on. So once they started breaking everything down, he left from another temple, but to leave from that temple, you had to take like a walk. The walk was all the soldiers of the temple line up, like 2 rows. You walk down the middle, and they beat the crap out of you.
Yo, for real?
Yeah. And
this is a religion.
This is this is religion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Slash,
I've never heard of this before.
But that wasn't necessarily the religion. That was something they had within each camp. Was like an army. They would recruit you. So, you joined the army, you had responsibilities. But, I was a pretty smart kid. I figured out like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so the missions that y'all being sent on was because he had a problem with these guys moving in on his block. Oh, this is what's going on here. And I remember going to a temple meeting, and the chief of the temple walked in. He put a .357 revolver on the table, and he said, I could keep the temple open. I just need a brick. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, oh, yeah.
A brick of cocaine.
I'm still in the shit. I'm like, yo, I'm still in the shit. I thought I escaped this shit. Okay, we still here. All right.
Still here.
So,
okay.
After a while, I had my first son.
How old were you?
Kai. I was 19.
Okay.
I had my first son, and that kind of made me think a different way. Like, I can't move with these crowds no more. I got to do my own thing. I got to take care of little man. So for a long time, I was like waking up at 6 a.m, had my own apartment in East New York. I think it was Lincoln between Fulton and Atlantic. Yeah. And I have my own apartment out there. I had to wake up 6 a.m, take little man to the babysitters, go all the way to Teaneck, New Jersey to work this construction job, and then work 10 hours, come back, pick him up, and that was my daily routine. And that shit was killing me.
Well, you're being an adult, though.
Being an adult,
you know,
but
I mean, killing you or not, I mean,
19 years old.
You got to salute that, though.
19 years old.
You got to salute it.
Yeah.
For real. Because a lot of dudes would be like, whatever, I'm not even sure it's mine. You know? How often does that happen?
I can't deny none of my kids, bro. It's like,
there you go.
5 of my faces just running around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. But yeah. So after I got done with construction, I went into this job readiness program called Strive. Shout out to Strive. I don't know if that's still going on, but at the time they had the guy that was the head of the program, his name was Frank. And Frank was like, he must have had like a triple black belt in psychology, because he could look at you and just figure shit out.
Yeah. It's still around, by the way.
Yeah.
Strive career path.
Still around. Yeah. At the time, it was in the basement of Jefferson Projects. Now I'm sure they got different locations and stuff. I remember them moving up to 123rd or 24th. But Frank looked at me and he figured out, yo, there's a lot of shit that you got going on inside that you're not letting out. Like, everybody had to do this 5-minute video. And in the 5-minute video, you kind of tell your life story. So everybody was getting up there, they was breaking down, crying, oh, my life's terrible, that's how I'm here. I got up there, I told stories about roaches and shit in the hood, and okay, I sat down, and that was that. This dude was so convinced that there was something that I wasn't dealing with, that he would pull me out of like from amongst my classmates, sit me in front of the class, and say shit like, yo, who would you rather do a crime with, me or Justin? I think he was snitch. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But later on I understood it, because he figured I could be around people, but I wouldn't say anything. I could learn people, but they wouldn't learn anything about me. Like I was guarding something.
Yeah.
So one day he was like, yo, I'm gonna kick you out the program if you don't give me what I want. And I'm like, I don't know what he wants. And it just clicked in my mind. I was like, this is what the fuck he wants. All right. And I just started from the beginning. I started retelling my story. And my pops just kept coming up. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And you get the quiver lip? When your shit start doing a little shake, like you about to cry. I was like, oh, Frank got me. Frank got me. And then, my classmates, I looked around. He wasn't even in the room no more. My classmates were like, yo, it's not your fault, blah, 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 blah. That's when I realized, oh, shit, I got an issue with my pops.
Your daddy issues.
Yeah, I had daddy issues.
Yeah, some real shit.
Yeah, that week, I went to his crib, cursed him out. I don't even fucking know you. I'm this, he made promises, but, he didn't keep them at that time. So I went back into my anger from there. After I got, I worked the corporate situation for a little while, glorified mill clerk, got out of that. I took my severance. I bought some work, went back to the streets, went back to doing everything. This is when the stick-ups became the job. Like,
so you would be robbing, you'd be robbing people.
Yeah.
With a gun.
Pretty much.
So you just walk up to them?
Or barehanded. A lot of times it was barehanded.
Were you wearing masks?
No.
So they knew who you were?
No.
Oh, because you were going to other areas?
Bro, I was very good at what I did.
Okay.
It's very, very good at
Were you getting arrested during this time?
No.
Okay. So
I've never gotten arrested for anything that I planned.
You got arrested for stuff you didn't plan?
Yeah, like losing my temper and shit like that. definitely. But otherwise, like I had a couple guys with me, and I was the plan guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was the guy that would, scope shit out, come up with the plan, and we would execute. And anytime they made a move without me, somebody went to jail.
Okay, but robberies don't go according to plan all the time.
Not all the time. That's true. That's true.
You know, you don't know how a person's going to react when you tell them to give up their belongings.
There were a couple times when things went left.
They pulled out a gun?
No, some people just, if I'm brave, there's 3 times in my life I fought somebody with a gun. It was just a matter of time before I ran into somebody like that. So, but that's what I was doing. But in between this time, I'm still rapping. I had a friend named Yashar, YB. And, he was on my back heavy, like, yo, you're nice. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, stop doing that shit and get in the studio. We built the studio over here. Yo, I'm gonna make a MySpace page for you. We did all this shit. And, I'm still thinking, nah, we out here, we getting it how we live. And one day, he got killed by somebody who tried to rob him. And that shit just...
While you were out robbing people,
While I
doing
was
the
out
same
robbing
thing
people,
that he got killed for.
He got killed fighting a robber. And I had like pride. I took a lot of pride in not crying for like 10 years. I used to brag to you, I don't cry. I ain't cried like 10 years. It's just me. I don't even know how to anymore. But when that happened, I bawled. I bawled for hours. And it didn't change. I didn't change my life right away, but it was already chipping at that. And by the time I started getting into battle rap, and I got my first check from battle rap, $5,000 to battle T-Rex. My girlfriend at the time was like, listen, since I've known you, all your friends been to jail. You got a way to not have to do this shit no more? Stop doing it.